starting second day, right? Second day of our spring learning. So last class what we have learned is what is dependency injection and what is inversion of control, right? So I think you are clear with what is inversion of control and what is dependency injection. So today we are going one step forward and we are learning something new. Okay, so last class when I was discussing, I have created one project called as Amphisoft, I think. So in this Amphisoft, we wrote some class called as DB connection, right? So I think this is the class, right? Yeah. So this is the class. So last class we stopped here, right? We told okay, we did dependency injection for primitive types of variables or say strings, right? We just did for strings. If there is an integer type, you can also do it for integer type. So how did we do it? We used an XML file. So you can name this XML file whatever you like, right? So I have named it girish.xml. So here I have given username and password, right, as a constructor arguments, and I have done dependency injection, right? And you already learned what is the scope variable, right? So that is clear. What is the difference between prototype and singleton? If it is singleton, only once the object is created by the server or your Spring, and every time the same object is used, right? But if you give it like prototype, whenever you create a new object, so a new instance of that object will be created. I think this is clear, right? So we are going to learn one step forward. As I said, we are going to have an object here. Okay, maybe what does a DB have? DB connection, what type of objects can be there in DB connection? Say there is an object called as tables. Okay,
Girish, the thing is, the last time we haven't seen about the singleton and prototype scope, Girish.
okay, I will tell you what is singleton and prototype, then we will go on.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
there is something called a scope operator. Okay, scope is an attribute. Okay, so what is the scope is, so we understood what is bean factory and application context, right? So these two act as a containers. So whenever you create, so whenever you say hey, go and refer this girish.xml, it will go and refer this xml and create objects, right? So that's the basic work of our Spring application. That's why we are using Spring. We don't want to create objects of that particular class, but I will ask Spring to create it. So when it is creating, I am giving get bean of db, right? So I'm saying db and I'm saying the type of the class. So it is going to create the objects by itself. So who is going to create? My Spring application will create objects and store it in my application context factory, and I'm using factory.getBean. I'm getting the beans from the factory. But if you just run this code, just this plain, right? Okay, I'll just run this program. Okay, it is saying connection successful. You can see here connection successful, welcome Girish 1 2 3 4 5, and there is some null. Okay, so I don't know what is this null. I'll just go and check it out. Okay, so that is connection username and password.
You are using two argument constructor, Girish, last time.
Yeah,
So
correct. Yeah, correct. So this is the one, right? So that's why it is giving that error. Fine. I think one parameter is missing in my XML. I did not pass that in the XML file. Only two things, right? Username and password I'm passing. I want to pass connection. That's not a problem. I am using two argument constructor. So just take that as an example. Now if there is something called as scope. Okay, so what is the scope is how your Spring should create object. Okay, by default Spring will create object only once, and it is called as that design pattern, we call it as singleton design pattern. Only once the object is created, and see for example here username and password is there. I created the object only once in my main, right? I just did get bean factory of db. I am getting the same bean, right? Now I want to change its value. Say I don't want the name to be the earlier whatever I gave, right? Girish, and password is 12345. I don't want this. Okay, I don't want this implementation. So what I will do, I'll go to my main. I can change its implementation. Before I change, I will create one more object. Okay, I'll just create one more object. It is some different DB connection. Okay, so different DB object, but it's of same type. Okay, but object is different. So I will use connection, say connection 1. So connection 1 is a new object I'm creating. Now I want to change the values, right? So I'll just go here and I will say con1 dot properties, right? I had some properties there, so I want to change those properties. So dot name, I don't want that name username to be Girish anymore, so I'll give it like Arti. Okay, just don't mind with the spellings. So just username I'm changing, and I'm changing the password. So con1 dot password, right? So I'm changing its password also. Her password I'm changing to say 54321. Okay, so I'm doing it like this. Okay, now if I call con1 dot display, right? I'm calling con1 dot display. What should get printed? What should get printed if I call con1 dot?
That welcome and RT54321.
Correct. No,
None.
it should print this welcome RP, and your password is 54321. Correct. So what I will do, I will
Yeah.
cross check with my XML file. I'll just go to my XML and I will check. Okay, so this is the password I have given here. I'm creating an object of this, but I have given some other things here. But even though I have given here, I have overridden my properties, right? In my main, I have changed those properties. So I am calling connection1.display. Now let me go and check whether I have given any scope. Okay, here I have not given. Okay, I have given some scope. I will change the scope. I will delete the scope. Okay, I don't want any scope variable. So only I have ID and class. Okay, only these two things. Okay, now I'll save this file and I will just run this. Okay, I'll just save it and run it. Now you can see there is the same object, okay, that we are expecting, that is RT and 54321 to be printed. I think it is taking some different constructor here. 1 minute. Okay, can you go on mute? There is some disturbance from you, Arti.
Oh, sorry, Krishna.
Yeah. Give me a minute. Um, I will just remove this because I'm just taking it as two properties. Always it is printing null. Okay, fine now. Okay. Okay. My XML. Okay. I have given constructor arguments. Okay, I'll just change this constructor arguments to properties. Okay, so what if we change it? It will act as a setter injection, right? Fine. So I'll just change this as of now because I am injecting through constructor. I'll just change this to setter based injection. Okay. So I'll just check. So now I've changed, these two are the properties of my DB connection class. Okay, so I will make sure those, I'll just remove this constructor as of now. I don't want constructor. So I want those two attributes to have setters, right? So previously there was no setter, that's why it was not working. So what I will do is I will have these two setters generated because I had constructor, it was directly taking constructor arguments and it was injecting. So I don't want that to happen. So I will just go and create setters here. I'll just select all and select setters and generate. Okay, I have name setter and password setter now. Now if you do the same program, right, previously we have done, so I have this con1 dot username. I'll change it to say, okay, and con1 dot password to okay. Now you can see my constructor is called, that is object created, and welcome Aarti and 54321 is called. So what is this scope, right? What I wanted to tell you is, if you give this scope, this ID, bean ID, a scope, the creation of objects would vary. So there are two scopes that you have to learn now. So one is, by default its scope is singleton. Okay, by default its scope is singleton. Okay, so by default its scope is singleton, means only once this object is created. Okay, so here I am just setting the properties and calling display. It is working like that. What I'll do is, I'll create say I have created two things, right? One is con.display and connection1.display. Anyway, I'm taking properties from my DB, my XML file. So I will just do con.display one and connection1.display. So for example, if it is if I've created object once, right? I have created this object once by pulling this db as a parameter. But next time when I'm looking at this, right, connection one, in connection one, if you make any changes, say I had made some changes previously, I'll just go back to that. Okay, so before calling connection one, I will also call con.display. Yeah, so now if you run this, actually there are two things I am calling, right? One is con.display and connection1.display. Okay, so con.display is what? So previously I am creating a bean, right? I am creating a class of a bean. So if I go back to my girish.xml, okay, this is my properties I gave, right? So it should create properties of this. It should have Girish and 1 2 3 4 5, correct? And here I have overridden that property. Again, same DB connection I am creating, but I have given some different properties here, right? I have given username as Aarti and 54321. But okay, if I am printing con.display, it should print these properties, right? Girish and 1 2 3 4 5, it should print. But why it is not printing it? If I am calling con.display, also it is printing Aarti, and say con1.display also it is printing Aarti. Did you understand the problem here, right? Even though I have two objects,
Uh,
I have two objects. See, DB connection, two objects I have, right? So one is having Girish as the attributes. In the other one, only in the con one, I changed the properties. I changed username in con one. It's a new object, right? In new object, I changed the properties. So it should only change in the second object, right? It should change only in the second object. Why it is changing in the first object also? So this is the one that you should understand, right? So how to solve this? See, what I told was, because why this is happening, because the scope is singleton, means only once object of DB connection is made. Okay, once it created, it was Girish and display. Okay, it was Girish and display. But what I did, 1 2 3 4 5, but what I did this overriding, right? I changed the name to something else. I changed Arti something else and Girish, this password something else. Then I am calling.
Girish,
Yeah,
one doubt.
yeah, yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
So if we give singleton, it is more or less equal to static class variables. So it belongs to the class that object rather than object each thing.
Not exactly
Is that
static. You can say this design pattern itself is like this, Arti. Only once object will be created. Then you means whenever somebody is creating an object of it, newly it will not create. Generally, how we will do, in if you say static, static variables or static blocks or static methods, they are also present in memory in a static way, and you can do directly call class name dot that variable name. Yeah, I agree. So that is also one way. But here, who's doing it is my spring actually creating object. Generally how we do, say DB connection con is equal to new DB connection. Similarly, your spring will create it, but it will create only once. It will not create again and again. Okay, but here I am creating again and again. I am creating two bean classes with the same ID. So what happens, only once it is created, the same properties is changed, altered here. So only one object is there, so its properties are also changed. So when you are printing con.display, it is printing the same thing. Connection 1.display also, it is printing the same thing. So by default, if you don't give here singleton, right, just go and erase this singleton also. By default, the scope of your bean is singleton. But in spring, the default scope of your bean is singleton, so it will get only Arti. Now I don't want this, right? I want only Girish to be there in the first object, Arti to be there in the second object. Means every time I want the new object to be created, so just go here and change the scope. Okay, so just change the scope. You give scope is equal to prototype. Okay, there is one scope called as prototype. The moment you give this prototype scope and rerun this application, now whatever you wanted, right? So you had the Girish 1 2 3 4 5 and Arti 1 2 3 4. See, two new objects are created. Previously only once this constructor was called, right? Only one object was created, but now it is creating two objects. One is having Girish with it and one is having Arti with it. So this is something you should understand. Okay, so if you don't give anything, right, say I didn't give anything, now if I run it, it will only create object once. It will create only object once, and the same object is utilized by the two get beans, right? Two get beans you did, the both are using the same thing. Okay, but if you check with the other scope, right, you just go and give prototype scope. So every time a new object is created for this particular DB connection. So if I run it, it will say, hey, two times I'll create the object. Okay, this is Girish and this is Arti. Any doubt, Arti?
no, Girish.
Understood, right? What is the different scopes you understood, right?
Yes, Girish.
Okay. And so today's topic, right? So we understood only these kind of dependencies where we had setter injection done for only this string type of data. But what if there is an object type of data? So for example, what does DB connection will have? There is a class called as table. Okay, there is a class called as table. So table is what? It's a new class I am creating. Table. Okay, so table is my class. Okay, fine. Now where is this table? It is not there. I'll just create it now. Okay, I'll just go click on this and create a new table. So I'll just go and create a table. Okay, so table is a class, default class I am creating, and finish. You can see here I have created one more class called as table. Okay, now here table might have some properties, right? So generally table will have some properties. Say it is having table name. Okay, string name. So is the table name, right? So every table will have a name. Okay, then it will have say int column count. Okay, column count. Okay, just a variable I'm just taking. Okay, every table will have a table name and its count of columns in it. Okay, so imagine it's an object. So where is this object present? Object's reference present. It's present in my DB connection. Okay, so DB connection is now having a dependency. What is this dependency? It is not a normal dependency, right? It is not a variable dependency. It is a class dependency, correct? So there is already a class available with me that is called as table. Where it is available? Somewhere else, right? Somewhere else there is a table, right? So I want to inject this as a dependency. So previously I was injecting the dependencies with setters and also constructors using this uh, normal string type of data, right? What if there is an object? How do you inject this dependency? How Spring will inject this dependency? Okay, now the question is, the moment you write this, okay, there should be some setter, right? There should be some setter method to set this value. Obviously if you are doing setter injection, there should be a setter method to inject it. If it is a constructor, you should have a constructor. So as of now we'll see setter injection for this, then we can see constructor injection. Okay, fine. I will just go and go to source and create a setter for it. I'll just go and select setters. Okay. Okay, only one setter it will create for me. Okay, fine. It will create a setter. Okay, this is called a set table method. So this is one setter that I want. Okay, because only one object type of dependency I have in my DB connection class. So I want that type of setter to be done. Okay, fine. It will do it. Your Spring will take care of this. Now injection of this table will be done by Spring. Okay, fine. But you should also tell this in your XML file, right? See here you have mentioned properties, say username, and properties, say value and some things, right? You have mentioned these kind of properties. Now how do you mention this property? That is, I have an object, right? I have an object. How do you mention this property? If you want to do this, right? So go back to your XML, write a property tag, because obviously this is also a property, right? It's a property, but you have to give some name for that property, obviously, right? So I will give name as table itself. Okay, so table is the property name. Now what is the value? We write value, right? So what is the value now? I don't know what is the value. So what I will do is I will do ref. Okay, I will just use ref keyword and I will give some name. I don't know what is the name, right? So I will say tab. Okay, I will just say tab. So what is it saying? Hey, whenever you come to this DB connection, you want to create object of DB, you need to take care of the dependencies. Spring has to configure it. So you should go to this XML and configure the dependencies. I am doing this name. Okay, fine. And password. Okay, fine. Now what about table? USJ is just saying ref. Why did you do this, right? So there are two ways of doing it. Okay, one is creating an inner bean. So there is something called as creating an inner bean. So here only you can write one more bean definition, because why should I write bean definition? Because it is a different class. You can create an object of this, right? So ideally what I should do, I should create one more bean here. So you can directly go and write that also. Say for example, I will just not do this. I will teach you what is that ref now. I'll just go inside this table. I will create one more inner bean, right? I can write a bean tag here, say bean, and I'll give its name. Sorry, ID also I have to give. I'll give ID as add what is that, table. Okay, table is the ID, and I will give its class. So what is the class name? So class is equal to okay, I have to give fully qualified class name. As it is in default package, I don't want to do it, so I can just give table. Okay,
table is my fully qualified class name. Okay, fine, I will do it. What is the scope? Right, I don't mind whether the scope is uh, uh, say prototype, or the scope is it is just copy this as prototype itself. I will mention that here. Okay, control V, done. So I have given name, table name and all this, right? But this bean is not a normal bean again, correct? This bean, inside this bean there are some properties, correct? Inside this bean also there are some properties. What are those properties? I think we have written some property like name, right? Table name,
Name and
correct. And what is the value that you want to give for it? Table name, say db, for db connection you can give some name, right? Value you can give
employee DB kind.
yeah, something like emp table, right? So I just give emp as the value. So first name, table name is emp. So I don't want to write this property tag, I'll just end it here. Instead of writing another property, I'll just end it there. And there is one more property called as count of rows, right? So I'll just do count of rows. Okay, okay, I'll just go back and copy this. Okay, what is the value? Say there are some 10 rows. Okay, now wait, you can get one question, right? Hey, you are inside this bean, you are mentioning the property but you are giving it as string, but here you declared it as int, right? You declare it as int. Will it throw an error? Definitely it will not throw an error. It will string will understand, oh, this guy is giving string here, but you want integer there. It will automatically convert and send it as integer. If you don't trust Spring, okay, whatever Spring is doing right or wrong, I don't know. If you want to ensure that, you can give type here. Okay, so type is equal to, you can give int or integer or whatever, right? You can give it as int, or yeah, type is equal to okay. For now I don't write this type, so by default it will typecast it, or you can mention a property called as type and give what type should be passed. So as of now what I told is, okay, I have a bean. In this I have two properties. One of the property is table, and it is a bean. Now inside it is a class, right? So I'll just format it. I will do control shift and F. So this is how it looks like, right? So bean is the outer bean. It is having two properties, and the third property is having an inner bean, right? There is one more class present inside this, and this stuff. Okay, so I'll just go back to my main method. So in main method, what changes I have to do is, I have to I'm just calling display, fine, I don't touch anything here, but I'll go to my db connection and I will add one more thing called as this dot we have that table. Okay, so obviously table, but table, if you want string format representation, you can go to this table class and override toString method, so that you'll get string representation of this attributes. So I'll just override toString, done. Okay, so now I'll save this and I'll run this code.
Girish, I have one doubt.
Yeah,
So for table also we need setters, right? Because we're giving property.
right,
So
right,
we're
right,
injecting right.
correct. So obviously if Spring has to do the injection, table also should have setters. Good, correct. This should also have setters. So I will just go click on select all and generate setters and click generate, done. Okay, yeah, correct, you should have setters there, because obviously you are injecting something from the XML. There should be setters. Now you can see object created. So there are two objects created. You have a table, you have emp and 10, which we have hard coded, right? Now you can observe that, okay, so this is Girish is having the same attributes, right? I've created one more object and that are also having same attributes. Means what? there is some common thing which is there in between these two things, right? Go back to XML and check. Okay, what is this common thing? Whatever is the DB connection, right? Maybe this table name that you are having is constant, right? Whoever does the DB connection, the table that we are having is constant. If that is the case, right? If that is the case, you can externalize this property. Means you don't want to write it as an inner bean. If you write it in as inner bean, it is working fine. So I'm not saying it is not working fine. It's correct. This way of doing is ultimately correct. But there is a good programming practice to deal with, because say tomorrow I have one more class. Maybe I have instead of DB connection, I have some Hibernate connection or some NoSQL connection or something, right? Some new class who also wants this table. Okay, so if you write it as an inner bean, every time you have to write it as an inner bean only, correct? But what I'll do, I'll avoid this. I'll remove this bean from here, right? I'll just cut it. Okay, I'll just cut this bean. So I will give a property name as table, but I will just do ref. Okay, I will do ref is equal to, I'll just give some name for my reference. So I'll just give tab. Okay, tab as the reference. Okay, so why did I do it? Because next time I don't want to call this property. This property should be already available for me. So what I'll do, I'll go outside this bean. Okay, so outside this bean, I will write this property. I will create a new bean, and it is having the bean reference ID, right? This bean reference ID should be this tab, because it is referring to this tab. Okay, that's it. Done now. Now what is happening? I have a bean. In this bean, I have a property called as table. So what is this table? I don't want to worry. I will just refer to tab. What is a tab? It's another bean. Instead of writing inner bean, it's better you write or externalize the behavior. Write it outside, right? As your container will also treat it as a separate bean and create an object and keep it, right? Whoever wants this table can use it. So this is the best way of doing it. Instead of means everywhere you go and learn, they will teach you how to do this inner bean only. But yeah, inner bean is good. Doing this is really cool, right? Anybody can use this table whenever, in case the properties are not changing. In case these properties are not changing, you can externalize this behavior. Okay, so anybody who wants it, they can use this table. Okay, fine. Okay, so I'll run it now. Now I'll check whether it is working fine. Yeah, now also it is working fine, right? Because even though I'm doing it, so internally I'm calling ref keyword and I'm calling this tab. So it is calling tab and it is doing this work, right? It is injecting the object type of behavior. Any class type of behavior, you can inject it. Yeah, any doubt?
So I have Girish.
Yeah.
So in this case, okay, there is a separate object created for table class.
Correct.
And we can use it with the DB connection tag by referring it.
Yes.
So if more than one class, like DB connection class, if another class also have table inside it, we
Correct.
can refer it via this method. But
Absolutely.
by using that method, like inserting within that, if some other class have this table class inside them, we have to again embed that
Yeah.
bean class into this property.
Correct. If you don't
Okay.
externalize this, right? If you don't externalize this, every connection, every class which is having this table as a dependency, they should write inner bean. They should always write inner bean. So your XML will become huge, right? It will look very bad. So to avoid that, I will create a separate bean outside and refer it from my actual bean, right? So this is what I'm referring to. So what Spring will do, it will refer to this object in the container. It will create the object and inject it here. This will be injected to my code directly, right? So this is something you should understand. Okay, now there can be one more dependency. So there can be dependency like there is some list of users, or say there are customer list, or there is something called product list, or some collection object, right? There can be some collection object present inside your class. So how to handle that collection object? So collection object, if you have its properties or its values, can also be set in your XML. So here also you can write a separate bean for it. there you can set all the properties, right? You have key and value pair, right? So you can give key, for this key what is the value, for this key what is the value, if you're using map, or if you're using array list, for this what are the values that should go inside the array list. So you will write it like that in this XML. Okay, so for that I have one example. I'll just show you that example because it is difficult to type everything from scratch. That is dependency using list. Okay, so here what is that I'm telling is sorry, not this, so here there is something called computer class. It is having name, RAM size, and array list. So what is this list? It is a list type of dependency, right? If it is list type of dependency, what first thing that I should do, I should write a setter, because who's going to inject this dependency is my Spring. Now I'll go back to my spring.xml file and check how do I configure this list as a dependency. So this is how I can do it, right? So I can write property name, right? It's a property name. So I give some name as list, and I will create a list here. So this is the list of things should go inside my list. In computer I had written some list, right? So for this list, what are the attributes that I'm setting, right? So I can set it like this, like how we write inner bean, right? You can write an inner property and you can set these values like this. It's a property, right? It's not a normal property, it is nothing but a list, right? So or array list that you are having. So array list will have a list of values. So you should mention this list tag, and inside that all value tags. Okay, because it's a array list. If it is a map, you will have key and value. So key tag and value tag, key tag and value tag that you are mentioning inside this list. Okay, this is how you inject collection type of behavior, or any other type. See, these values can be anything. Okay, it cannot be only strings, it can be any value, because collection will take any type of values. But if you go and ensure some type here, say you say it should only take string, right? It should only take string here, then it will only take string. That's how we do generics type of doing it, right? So it's again an optional one. So if you do like this, it will not allow any integer values, right? So if you are giving some integer values and all, it will throw error at runtime, or it will treat this as a string itself. Okay, these are the two options that you have. What is, if you want to write any collection one, you have to write a property, inside that list tag, and list all the values that you want to insert. Okay, if this is a common behavior, you can write a separate bean for it, and you can write it like how we have written it previously. So this is because we are externalizing the dependency. We don't want this so this is good way of doing it. I'm not saying this is bad way, but if this is a common property, right, more than 5-6 beans, or every bean in your project wants to use this list, there is no point in writing the same list in all 50 beans or all 100 beans, right? I'll just write it outside and refer to this bean. So that is a good programming practice. So this is the object dependency you have understood. Now it is quite difficult, right? So if you see your DB connection, I'll just go back to our project, that's Amphisoft project. So here, if you just understand this DB connection, okay, you kind of understood how to insert my object type of behavior, right? So you are good to go with that. But still I find, is there any better way of injecting this object behavior, right? Object behavior, is there any better way of doing it? Okay, so there is a concept called as auto wiring. Okay, auto wiring. Okay, so what is this auto wiring? What is auto wiring means? It will automatically wire the dependencies. Means you have this object type. See, just remember, if you are using auto wiring, right, there is a concept called as auto wiring. I will tell you what it is. So if you want to use this auto wiring, right, you must make sure your class, your DB connection class is having only object type of dependencies. You can do auto wiring only for this object type or class type of dependencies. You cannot do auto wiring for your normal variables. For normal variables, you have to go with setter or constructor injection. Only two ways of injection can be done here. But in case if it is an object dependency, if it is some table of a class which is already present and you want to inject this kind of dependencies, instead of me going and struggling in my XML file, I don't want to write all this struggling things, right? So you can do something called as AutoWire. Okay. Now what is this AutoWire and how it is done? Okay, I'll just tell you. Now I have this depend property called as table, and its name is, I have given something, right, some things here so to configure, but I don't want to write this property. It's so boring, right? If it is an inner bean, it is very hectic to write. It's outer bean, that's I've externalized the behavior, that's not a problem. But if it is now I am saying, okay, there is one property called as Girish which is string, another property called as password which is string, and there is one more thing, but I'm not mentioning that property. For me, that is not a matter, right? For me, that is not at all a matter. What I will do is I'll go and do something called as auto wiring. So the attribute is 1 minute. There is one attribute that you want to give here. What is the attribute? Okay, AutoWire. AutoWire is the attribute. So AutoWire. Here I can give the scope, say how I should do AutoWiring. So as of now, I will give by name, right? So I'll just give by name. Okay. So AutoWiring can be done in many ways, but as of now, for my first example, I am giving by name. Okay. So I am doing AutoWiring by name. So what is this AutoWiring by name? I will, okay, there was one property here, and what was the property? It was table, right? So table is the property. So it will just go back and check, okay, I should inject this property, but it will also come and check for this ID, but ID name is tab. It cannot find tab. It is finding tab here, but it is going to this table class and it is finding, okay, in DB connection class it is going and finding that as table. So if you are auto wiring with this name, so this name and your bean name should be same. So I will copy this name and I'll come back to my XML. Here I am not referring anything here, right? So I will just change it to table. Now what did I just do is, I did not write the property here. Can you see? I did not write this property. I just removed this property. Even though I just removed this property, I have written a bean ID as table, and I have written auto wire by name. Means what? I am auto wiring this dependency to this class. If there are any object type of dependencies present in this DB connection class, it will auto wire it. Means what it will do? It will go to DB connection class and it will check, hey, you are having some object dependencies. It is saying, okay, first one is not object, second one is not object, okay, third one is an object dependency. Okay, fine. It will check this name. Okay, your name is table. It will jump to your XML and it will map that table by name. Okay, if that is there, it will create the object of it and inject it automatically if you are using auto wire by name. Okay, so let us see whether it is working fine or not. Okay, I think it should work fine. I'll just run it. So check it out. Yes, object is created successfully and you have this table, everything done, right? Now wait, I don't believe you, right? I'll just go back to my XML, right? I'll just remove this auto wire. I'll just remove this auto wire. Okay, I'll just remove this auto wire. Now you can just save it and try. Okay, so just save it. Okay, I just saved it. Now I'll just go and run it. Now it will give you an error saying that there is a null, right? It's saying, hey, what is this? Okay, you are setting only two dependencies. Where is the other dependency? You did not write a property tag here. It is expecting a property tag, but yeah, I did not give any property tag, and this bean itself is not created. This object itself is not created, so you're getting null. And only change you want to do is you just give that auto wire by name and save it. So it will go to my DB connection and it will wire automatically whatever the object dependencies are there. It will only wire it. It will only wire it. And if you run it, it will print that object. It will take that object and wire it to your DB connection class and it will print. Isn't it very cool, right? So you don't want to mention it, you don't want to refer to any bean, you don't want to do anything, just mention this property called as auto wire by name. Did you understand this, Aarti?
Yes, Girish.
Okay, super. So not only this, I don't want to even write it in here, right? I don't want to write it. It looks very clumsy to me. I want to auto wire directly. So I want to directly auto wire. Now, how to do that? I'll just remove this, right? I just want to use annotation way of auto wiring, right? I don't want to traditionally how you are doing in XML. I don't want to do it. I want to do it automatically. Something from Java side it should work. So if you want to do that, right? So there is two things that you should do. One is you have to add one more schema here, right? I think you have only beans here, right? So you need one context schema. You want to add that. Okay, so what I'll do, I've already done that to other batch. I'll just use that. Okay, I'll tell you what it is. I'll just use it and tell you what it is. In my spring.xml, you can see previously I had only this beans, right? I had only this beans till beans.xst I had. But I have copied these two things. One is context, spring context, and schema of this context. Only two things is extra. Okay, two lines are extra because I want to use this tag called as context colon annotation config. So this tag is very important for me. So I want to use it in my program. I will tell you why should I use it. So what I will do is I'll just copy these tags, only these tags. Okay. So where do you get it? If you just go to go online and search for annotations. If I want to use some annotations in Spring, what is the XML configuration? It will give you this. Okay, I'll just copy this XML, right? I'll just come back to our program, right? In our program, I'll just paste it. So I'll just remove this previous one. I'll just replace it. Now what I just did is I just enabled, right? If you use this tag, it will enable your auto wire annotation. There is a annotation called as auto wire. It will automatically enable that. Okay, fine. By writing this tag, it is already enabled. I am saying it is already enabled. Okay, now how do you trust me? I have not written anything here, right? I have not written auto wire here, right? If I go and run, will it work? Obviously it will not work, right? It will give you null here. Why it is giving null? I did this auto annotation done, but you didn't use the annotation, right? So where should you use this annotation? Just go to your DB connection. If you are doing this set table configuration by setter, right? If you are doing setter injection, write at auto wire here. Okay, just write at auto wired annotation. That's it. If you write this one line, it will take this set table. Set table is the dependency, right? It's an object type of dependency. It will take this dependency and directly inject into my program, this table, right? So it will take this table, it will inject this dependency to whatever I am looking for, right? So that will be done automatically. So I'll just go and run it. So let's to check whether it is working or not. Yes, can you see here? It has taken this table as a dependency and it has directly injected to me. How did I do it? I didn't do anything, right? It's very simple, right? I just went to DB connection. I written one auto wired annotation. What is this auto wired? On top of set table I am doing. Means what? I am setting the table automatically. Who should take care of this table? Where it is present? It is already present in my local. Who should wire it? My Spring will automatically detect the dependencies of DB connection. Okay, it is having table by name. It is wiring set table method. It is calling set table and it is wiring this dependency automatically for me. Did you understand this? Auto wire. You can do it.
Yes,
Yeah,
Girish.
you can do it with XML also. XML also works fine. You can directly write here auto wired annotation and you can do it, right? Auto wire is equal to name by name or whatever, right? You can do it. But what are the scopes? What are the types of auto wiring, right? So auto wiring is having different scopes here. Not so previously we understood there was one scope called as by name, right? So we understood by name. It's not only by name, there is something called by type, by constructor. Okay, so these are the three types that we should know. By default it will do by name. By name it will detect and it will auto wire. In case there is some conflict in the name, okay, I have not given name properly, or there is some conflict in the name, you can do it with type also. Okay, so let us check out that by type. So here I have given this table name, right? Imagine this table name I am given it as some tab. Okay, by mistake I did like tab. Now so I don't want this auto wiring by annotation to happen. I'll just go and remove this annotation as of now. So I'll run this. Now it will say some error, say this null is not, means the address is not wired automatically. Even though I am giving this, right, I am giving this auto wire is equal to name, right? By name I'll give, okay, by name. Okay, so I'm giving it by name. Even though I give it by name, it is not auto wiring, it is still saying null. Okay, because it is mapping by name, it is going to your class DB connection class, it is checking for name of the dependency. Hey, table is the name, right? And is coming back to XML and trying to match the table with other beans. There is no bean by ID table, so it is failing, it is unable to inject it. So if this is the case, you can give by type. Okay, by type. What does by type do? By type will check the object type. It will go and check the class type, whether the table class is available here, right? Okay, it will check the type and then it will do auto wiring. Okay, so just check out. Now I did by type, it is working fine, it has auto wired. Okay, and there is one thing called as by constructor. Okay, you can do auto wire by name, auto wire by type, or auto wire by constructor. Means what? See, imagine your DB class has a constructor. Here I have removed the constructors. You can create one constructor. On top of that constructor, you can write auto wired. Means what? It will wire with constructor as the constraint. Okay, if you have two constructors, you give at auto wire for any one constructor, that will be considered for auto wiring. Okay, so I just want you to explore what is I've taught you what is this simple, right? It's children's play, right? So I've taught you what is by name and by type. Just go and explore what is by constructor. It is very simple. Go and create a constructor here, remove all your setter methods, right? And then try to write at auto wired here. It automatically works. And one important thing that you should remember here is, if you don't write this line, right, your auto wire annotation will not be valid. Your annotation will be off by default. If you want to switch it on, you should go and write this line. If you don't write this line, it will not be on. Okay, auto wiring will not be on. Auto wiring in terms of annotation. Okay, so that is, you write this at, right, at annotation. So this will not be active. At auto wire will not be active by default. So you have to manually configure it. Okay, so you should write this. Main thing is you should write this, and you should also use this context.xsd and beans.xsd. Beans.xsd previously you have already did, but now one thing is you need to add context and context.xsd. In this context only you have this annotation config. So you have to use this tag. If you don't use this tag, annotation in this XML will not work. At annotation will not work. Okay, I think you got a good idea on what is auto wired annotation.
So
And
my doubt is, Girish, previously when we are not using this auto wire thing,
Yeah.
not using this annotation, so the auto wire scope is only by name, the scope.
Yeah, here.
So after using the annotations, we have by name, default, and by constructor. So the scope varies.
No. You have understood it wrong. If you don't have this at annotation also, you can do auto wiring by name, by type, by constructor. There are 3 types you can do auto wiring. If you don't have annotation, just forget about this annotation. If there is no annotation also, you can do by name, by type, and by constructor. Okay, if you write this annotation, it will only identify whether it is by type or by name or by constructor. You don't want to mention it. If you just use at auto wire annotation, it will only understand. It will first check with name. If name is not found, it will check with type. Otherwise it will check with constructor. It will only do things for you. You don't want to do if you are using annotation. If you are doing manually, right, XML, you have to write by type or by name or by constructor.
Okay, Girish, now understood.
Understood, right? Okay, okay, okay. Aarti, I think I will stop this class now because the next topic will actually take pretty more time. Okay, you can go back and work on the next 3 or 4 problems. Okay, if you finish it by today evening, no, you can inform me. If you are free, we can take evening class also, or if you are busy, we can take tomorrow morning class. Right?
Sure, Girish, I will inform.
Okay, okay. So go
Thank.
practice this, huh?
Yeah,
Thank
thank you,
you,
Girish.
thank you, thank you. I'll share the